turn of retired Colonel Hilton Klein, and he has been involved in so many different things I cannot even repeat all of them. Earlier in the morning you have listened to that, but essentially a person of great influence. Thank you, Hilton, for your contribution. Can I just remove this thing and put it onto your... Just can I help you with that one? Sorry, I won't kill you. Just turn it around. Right, I hope it's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, before Prof goes, what I've got in this prepared, 95% he has said. I've also mentioned Kodesa in my reply. I call it another name. You will hear about it now. And we didn't discuss this.
Not at all. I can assure you. I even told him over tea, I'm not going to share with you what I, through Isaac Berger, through Brother Swart, Nico Swart, and through one or two of our other people who said we must come to action. I'm not going to share my ideas with you.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
So, definitely, if you think that the Holy Spirit is not here, then I think we're in another place. You in another place. It's definitely the Holy Spirit leading us. Happy Freedom Day. That's what I want to say to all of you. We are all South Africans. Black, white, yellow, green, blue. The whole team sitting here is a reflection of what was born on 27 April, 27 years ago. Let's cut to the chase here. I think there's, as Prof. Dr. Berger said, there was just too many talks. There was just too many discussions. There was just too many seminars. And we're still where we are today. We need to talk. And we need to talk now. Because we are at a crossroads. This country, and I fought on the other side, this country, together with my sister Martha, this country is in big trouble. This country is on a stop street. We need to decide, are we going to turn left, right, or are we going forward? Are we going to stop there? This country is at the verge of a civil war, if you don't know that. And I'm sure most of you are priests, you read and you can see further than what the people are telling you. We're in big trouble as a country. Is the church aware of this very serious crisis in this country? Doesn't look like it. Because we are quiet, we are not saying anything. It's like we are in a state of confusion. The devil has put us in a state of confusion. We're quiet. The voice is gone. The hope we had, Sis Martha, the hope we had for a beautiful South Africa, I almost want to say, is up in flames. The hope we had 27 years ago for a new South Africa is in flames. We are at the most dangerous crossroads of history in this nation, and I repeat what I'm saying. And I think you know what I'm saying. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Do you agree with me? We are at the most dangerous crossroads of the history of this nation that you were born into, as Prof said. We are South Africans. It's a South African problem. We need to solve it the South African way. We don't need anybody else. We need South Africa, black, white, what colors, whatever colors we have. We need South Africans to solve it. The church was made quiet and we accepted the role. We handed our role over to the SACC, who is a talk show. We handed our role over to the South African Council of Churches, and you can go tell them, Hilton Klein says so, that is basically a union of church leaders getting together, and when they have coffee with the president, they are so excited, they don't even tell the president the issues of the day. Am I right or am I wrong? Yeah. It's a fact. Yeah. They're not representing the church. They're not standing up for the church. They're not doing what they're supposed to do as the church. And they are great people, wonderful people. But when it comes to meeting government, they are numb. They don't say the right things. They don't say a word. They make government think that everything is okay. Are you with me? And it's not okay in this country. The SACC lost its way spiritually, and it lost its way to be the voice of reason for this nation. And I want to say, if I say SACC, I say all of us, because we are included. We are the church. It's not that building, you the preachers out there, you always preach that message. We are the church. But our voice has become silent. We are the conscience of the state. They're not our conscience. We are their conscience. Dr. Berger is there. We are their conscience. But we are happy to be in the role of the pastor. And we get everything of the priest or the religious leader in front or whatever we are. And I'm addressing the converted here. I want to come to a point, and that's where I'm starting there. The voice of reason, the conscience of this nation or of this government, you've lost it. As Pastor Kopano said, we're living in a serious dysfunctional society. My brothers, being in the security cluster, retired teams, we get information, and very easily. We see things on a daily basis happening that you don't know. I've shared with with my friends a visual where somebody is shot in a community. He's been killed. This community catches the two guys, which I believe now was not the murderers. They catch these guys, they bring the community of young kids, youngsters, young people, elderly, out. They make a whole commotion about it. They close the entrances for the police to come in. They take an axe. This is happening under your nose and my nose. They take an axe and they cut the heads of that two young men off in front of this community. It didn't happen in Mamelodi or Khayelitsha or whatever township. It happened in a normal society where there's nice houses, where there's beautiful streets tarred. That's where it happened. And they beheaded that guys right in front of mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, and youth and young kids. And they kicked the heads of that young boys. Let it roll like that. The video you can have. A mother, a granny of 88 years old being raped by a 21-year-old. Are we in the right society? Is this South Africa? I don't want to go to the farm murders and how they kill farm murders. I'm a farmer myself. I'm in the agricultural space myself. I've got beautiful farmer friends. One of them was murdered with his wife. His son, who got to the scene where his mom and dad was murdered in the house, is still struggling today to sleep. He uses cannabis, he uses all these lovely things, but he can't sleep because he sees the picture of how his mom and dad was tortured to their death. This is the society that Mandela has created to be a beautiful society for all of us to live in. What did Mandela want? What was it that we wanted? What was it that we went to go fight for? Are you still with me? Am I still in the right place? What was it that we went to go fight for? Mandela's hope, and that's why he went to prison, and so many others gave their lives for, on the other side. The dream of a new South Africa 27 jaar gelede was die volgende. All South Africans from all walks of life, all races, all creeds, all cultures, all socio-economic groups, poor and rich, live together in peace, unity, love, to take the South Africa that we believe in forward. 27 years after. Is it so? Pastors, religious leaders, academics, is it so? No, can't be. And if you say, yes, you live in another world, my brother or sister or friend, I must tell you that. You live in another world. That's not the reality. Racial tension, rich and poor, the rich becoming richer, the poor becoming poorer, that's a problem. Crime, corruption, hatred, it's a problem. And the question I keep on asking myself, what went wrong? The church is still preaching every Sunday. We're still talking to our congregants. What went wrong? Why can't we achieve what we all agreed to at Kodesa and at the TRC and at all these places 27 years ago? Why can't we achieve reconciliation and nation building in this country? Because we're still suspicious of each other. I'm still curious of what this white man is going to say, or what this black or colored or Indian is going to say about me and what's going to touch me. And then I'll go out and say, this and this and this is what he said, and this is what I think. Yes, we do it. Because we are suspicious of each other. We have not reconciled. Why can't we achieve this after 27 years? What went wrong? We hoped for forgiveness, but we're living in a state of unforgiveness. We hoped for love. We're living in a state of hatred. We hoped for peace. Is there peace? There's no peace in our societies. We lived for us. Can you remember that whole conundrum about Ubuntu? Can you remember that stories? We lived for that. That's what we stood for. We lived for the us. But what we got is a me. We lived for genuine, but what we got was false and dishonest. We lived for humble, and what we got was arrogant, deceiving, rebellious. We lived for freedom, and what we got is captivity. I live in a house with 16 cameras. A massive, massive, massive fence and 4 dogs and a few other things that I can't tell you here. We are captives in our own prisons. Is this what we envisaged for a new South Africa? Serving the poor? No. Serving myself? Yes. Because I need to do anything and everything in my powers, even as a priest, to have this together. Because somebody might just take it. We're not in a state, an emotional state, and you're hearing me right. We're not in an emotional state to share because we're too scared. Because we're too scared, we do not know what tomorrow holds. That's why we're holding back what is ours. We're stuck in apartheid, isn't it, Nico? We're stuck there. The sick stay sick. The poor stay poor. The destitute stay destitute. The hungry stay hungry. The illiterate stay illiterate. Something is wrong. How do we solve this problem? How do we become the voice again of the voiceless? How do we as the church matter again? Because I can tell you, we're not a damn taken serious up there. We are not. If you thought that, we are definitely not. I've been at all the insulins. I've worked in the highest office. We are not taken serious at the church. Yes, we are given a voice when they need us to bring a voice. You know what was so interesting surrounding this coronavirus? They called the 100 church people, the church leaders in, just to tell them, listen guys, please talk to your members that we're going to close the church. Guys from ZCC, please, we really want you guys to not meet Easter. Can you do that for us? No, Mr. President, no, it's all right, no problem. And then it happened. Nobody stood up and said, but oh, wait, can't we do it another way? No, when they need us, we are good enough. Isn't it? Here's this government of mine. Madiba said one of the most difficult things is not to change society. We're not called to go change society. We're called to go change ourselves. It starts with us. It starts with a small group of people that agree something is wrong. Are you still with me? I'm almost done. And who better than us as the church to say, crime is out of control, guys. We're not saying it. They're saying it on our behalf. And they're saying it in a very nice way. Go and read the crime statistics. What the minister says there. And then you think, wow, this is cool. But crime is out of control. People are dying on a daily basis. We have murders up to 6%, and I personally think it's 36%. Somewhere they've lost it. Go and look at the statistics of crime. Go and look at the rate of the statistics of crime. Go and look at the evility, if I can use that word, of the crime. They don't come in and just say, hey, can you give us your food in the fridge and in the deep fridge and your gun? And no, they rape your wife and your daughter and they kill you. That's what they do. Is it the right society? We are so used to it that we think it is right, isn't it? The fact that that person lies on the road dead, we're driving past, the police is attending to it. Yes, it's a problem. Crime is a problem. What happened? School is a problem. as somebody said earlier, it looks as if we are so eager to go and drop our kids at the school because that's teachers' problem. As parents, and the parents is in your churches, in your denominations, and mine. They're not there to take over and to take the lead and to give and to set the example anymore. Teacher must do that, and when teacher does it, he's wrong. What do we do, guys? How do we do it as such a small group? So many people ask the questions. I'm here to go and find out and to check what we can do as a team and to see if we can work together, to see if I can come into this group. I don't even want to talk about corruption. I don't even want to talk about the issue of justice and our justice system. I want to address the school issue because it's a problem. You know, there's no more prayers in the schools, there's no more prayers in the university, everybody's on its own, and even the protocols of government, there's none. And we kept quiet. We didn't stand up for that. The most simple things we didn't stand up for. And now, it's a massive problem. That's where it started. How do we solve it? A small group like this, an entity like this, we can. We are in the capital city of this nation. We can become the voice of reason, isn't it? There's a reason why we are here together. There's a reason why you are here. Because God wanted you here, and I don't want to spiritualize anything. But I can say to you, you are in the capital city. And you are here today, and we can call on that house on the hill, call the presidency, and tell the president how we feel. We don't need a SACC. We don't need a huge amount of people to go toy there. We can get it together, yes. But God wants to use you and me, as Madiba said, to make that change. To say to the president, Mr. President, this is wrong. And that's where we need to start. And not leave it there. Because that's the problem. We come together, we confer and we write a letter and we leave it in his hands. He's not going to solve it. How nice and how beautiful this president might be to you and to me, he's not going to solve it. It's going to be a letter, he's going to acknowledge it, and that's it. We need to do something. And now I'm getting to that point. When we were in trouble, in the 66 and all the other years that Prof just alluded to, we had a convention, isn't it? 94, 1991, we had a convention. We had a CODESA. What stops us as the church to start that? Nothing. In fact, it started with the church. Why can't this group start it? Right here. And say to the political parties, come and talk to us. No, let's not wait for them to call us. We must call them, isn't it? As the church. And we invite the intellectuals from our universities. We invite the necessary leaders. We call on them to come see us. And if they don't come, we continue with what we're doing. Because it's our calling. We respect them, but it's our calling. We need to take the lead as the church. We call on the SACC. If they want to come, fine. But let's call a meeting to say, guys, we seriously need to talk about a CODESA in this country. Call Julius. Call, who's the president of who's the person of the DA? Whoever that person is, the president of the ANC, call them. Tell them we want to talk to you as the church. They don't have to know who we are. But we want to talk to you. If they don't come, it's their problem. We're moving forward. And we call It a konasa. Yeah, I even got that word right. And that means a convention of nation building in South Africa. That's what we need, ladies and gentlemen. We need a convention so that we can take South Africa forward. That's the one thing. Remember, that was the second point. Number one, I said, talk to the hill. Let's talk to the people up there. Let's write him a letter and his cabinet and tell them we're not happy with the state of affairs as it is. Yeah. Guys, there's problems, and you know this, I'm preaching about, talking to the converted. There's problems in every government department. Dr. Bayers, am I correct? We don't have water that is healthy for our children and ourselves. We don't have the right school system. There's a problem. Man, you name it, and we have that problem. Isn't it time to call them and say, guys, come. As the church, we say, come, let's talk. The race barrier. Hey, that's a problem in South Africa. We do not trust each other. It's true, guys. We still say the Indian man is going to make money out of me. This man is going to make that. The colored one is going to go. The reason why he is running is because he is waiting to run to the bottle store to keep it. So it's something like that. We've still got the problem of race in our country. Why don't we call it TRC? Did TRC stop when Tutu stopped? Why don't we call it TRC? And let anybody and everybody come and talk about their pains and their issues and their challenges. We start with the churches because that's where the problem lies. The NG Kerk and whatever they call them, what is the Firika and the others, let's call them. Let's call the church leaders together and let's have a conversation with them. Let's call the TRC and talk to the people and address the issues of hatred, etc., etc. It's our responsibility, and that's what Willie taught us in his address. It's there. The Bible speaks of all of these things. And in conclusion, I want to say, we have a problem with corruption in this country. Man, it's not just on the top. It's everywhere. Even that kid that's stealing the pen gets it from the president that stole whatever. And they think it's right. Is it right? No, it can't be. The government cannot handle. Let's start with the ruling party. The ruling party and all the other parties that is involved cannot manage corruption among themselves. Wherever they rule a municipality, they steal, whether it's the DA or the ANC or the IFP or whatever party, freedom fighters or whatever they call themselves. There's corruption everywhere, in every sphere of government. They can't fix it. Nationally, they can't fix it. Party, they can't fix it. They are fighting each other now. You can see. Look at the media. He's got half a day to be expelled. And just imagine what's going to happen there. The president is in waiting, the former president, to be locked up. MK is standing at his house waiting, guarding for the police to come fetch our president. Just imagine the first shot is fired there, at the black part that will happen there, if these things happen. Government, justice, police, that lovely lady, Indian lady that's now in charge, they cannot handle it. Why don't we call the leaders together and say to them, come talk to us. another solution. Yes, we would love them to all to sit in jail, but then we have to go and open Robben Island again. It's because there's not enough prisons here for all of us to go and sit, even our church leaders to go and sit in that prison. There's not enough. But we can solve it by them repenting first. By them asking for forgiveness to the people of South Africa for the money that they stole. And then the church must be bold enough to come out and say, we forgive you and we love you. And then we take it from there. Are we bold enough to do that? Because our nature is to hurt them and to hit them with the sword. But is that not the solution? Don't you think they need forgiveness? Don't you think they need to hear from us? God will punish you if you do that again, even though they know it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at this huge, huge crossroads. And we need to do something. We can start the organization or this movement and be radical in what we're doing, in what we're saying. Or we can just walk away from here and say, well, yes, 27 April, we had a good chat about what's happening in our country, and. Are we going to say here to each other, guys, there's a problem. As a small group, starting from the capital city, we need to do something about it. I think that's where we are. God used the white man. He brought the colored man, and he brought the black man, and he brought the Indian man, and he brought women, and he brought the youth. And here we are. Why don't we start something? And we grow it, and we grow it, and we grow it. We did this before 94. We started the South African Council of Churches. And you know the Alan Busacks and all of them that were there. And we fought apartheid. We fought apartheid. And we broke it down into its pieces. Let's start here small. Small. By just writing a letter to the president and saying to him, Mr. President, we call for a Kodesa. He's going to script. And he's going to want to know, who are these church people? We call for a TRC. Who are these people? And we start in our own congregations. There's black on black that's fighting each other in cultural barriers. Start with them, my brothers. Start with your congregation. Your own people who's fighting one another. Start your TRC there. Start your Kodesas there for now. And let's start as a whole collective here in Gauteng, in Pretoria, and let's build it out. I'm open now for discussion. I'm going to hand over to the program director. Sorry for taking so long, but this is what we have to talk about.